Hey, hey. House full of Jaguars. How's everybody tonight? Good, good, good. Go Jags. My name's Joel Erdman. I'm athletic director. Thank you all for coming out with the rain this evening. And I'm going to introduce some things and then hand the mic over to Travis and Jacob. A couple things I just want to say is, number one, 578. 578 days from September 12th, 2020. That seems like a long time, but it's not. We got a lot to do in a short period of time, and we're here tonight to officially start a process. Before starting that process, if I was to thank everybody who got us to where we are today and to where we will be in 2020, we would be here till midnight. So I'm not going to even try to do that, but in a holistic and symbolic way, I want you to know that literally hundreds and hundreds of people over the past 5 years have worked very hard on top of their typical daily duties to get us to where we are today. So like with anything, very little of good is achieved without the help of many, many people. And those many, many people are thanked. Now, tonight, what we're going to do is lead you through a couple things. Here's Hancock Whitney Stadium. Here are the compelling aspects of the stadium. Here's the seating options and the pricing. Here's some parking options and the pricing. Here's the process on how from February of 2019 you get to September of 2020. How do we, in a fair and objective way, distribute tickets which honors those that have been with us and those that have supported us financially, and also answer any questions you may have, okay? Now, let me say this. I think we have worked very hard and in a very smart fashion to prepare. And we will answer all the questions that we can to the best of our ability. But I'm going to say right now, today, as we can answer probably 85% of the questions. But there are some unknowns out there. You know, we've still got to build some parking lots. I think I know what those parking lots are going to look like. And I think I know the design that they're going to end up. But until they're built, I may not know the final numbers. Does that make sense? And so there are some unknowns out there, but we're starting the process, and we have the majority of the information is a known. As far as policies or guidelines on game day, okay, we are a university. A university has to go through a certain process in which we will gather information from people on campus and make recommendations to the president and ultimate approval of others on what's game day going to look like. What are the specific guidelines according to tailgating? Things of that nature. I know that's a compelling topic for some folks, okay? What I can say is our intent is to be like every other university in the Deep South. But we have to be mindful. This is brand new for us. We are going down the road of bringing 25,000 people to our campus. We have never done that before. And we're going down the road of having people in their RVs come to our campus the night before and maybe stay the night after. And we've never done that before. And we're going down the road of we have plenty of parking spaces, and some are within walking distance, and some are kind of in between, and some might need some help from some shuttle services. And we're going to have that. And we have a plan, but the ultimate formula is yet to be determined, but it's in the works. Does that make sense? So I'm excited. We're excited. Thank you for being here. Travis Toth, who is Senior Associate AD in charge of External Affairs, and Jacob Ludwikowski, who's our development guy. I'm going to give the mic to them, and I'm going to stand by the side and laugh at them for a half hour. So I think we're gonna begin with a little virtual tour. Most of you have seen this, but we want you to see it again, and then Jacob and Travis will come out. Thank you.
How about that, huh? Good evening. It's kind of hard to follow that video. First of all, great to see so many familiar faces. This was so important for us to host an open house for our donors, our season ticket holders, our closest friends, and as Joel said, we really appreciate you guys getting out in the weather today and coming out and joining us. That's what this is all about. As you can see on the board, this is the first of 3, so we will have 2 more open houses on the 21st and the 23rd, same time, same place. And the most important salespeople we have on our staff is you. You guys believe in us. You're passionate about the Jags. What we need you to do is we need you to tell your friends and your neighbors and anybody that has interest to come out, learn about it. Let us educate them about the stadium and so forth. I know most of you already know, and we're just here to compliment it, but we really need you to get more folks involved and get them out here to help this thing go the way we want to. In addition to the dates, we're also going to talk about some important dates here. Well, see, I told you it's priority points. So I tell you what I'm going to do. Priority points can be a little tricky, so I'm going to turn it over to Jacob, and he's going to walk you through the priority point process. And we hope that after Jacob speaks, it's going to be crystal clear.
I don't know about all that. We'll try, though. All right. So y'all got your letters. I've been hearing from everybody. It's great. We sent them out last week. If you did not get a letter with priority points, it means one of 2 things. We have your address wrong, or you don't have any priority points. So and we sent them out to about 14,000 people. Everybody in our database should have gotten one. So feel free to come up to me after this if you did not get one, and I'll take down your information, and we can get that figured out for you, and we can get your ranking and everything put in place. So but the way priority points are kind of figured out are a few different ways. So you earn 1 point for every $100 you give to South Circle, and then a point for every consecutive year you give. So if you've given last year and you end up giving this year, that allows you an extra point here. The restricted giving clubs, again, same deal, 100 point, a point for every $100 given, and then consecutive years you get a point, and that includes our Upper 90 Club for soccer, Dugout Club for baseball, Bullpen Club for softball, everything that your Jag Gals donations, everything that is not South Circle. And then anything you get from a corporate match, you also get an extra point per $100 for. The one thing that's coming up right now is you get $100 for every, or a point for every $100 you give to a capital project. So we're trying to raise money for the stadium right now. So if you made a $5,000 contribution, that would get you 50 priority points. It's pretty cut and dry, simple, and that's something that if you sign the agreement, the day you sign the agreement, the priority points go on your account. So it's pretty quick, easy, painless for those who are interested in kind of easily moving their priority point up. The other couple things down here are your football tickets, season tickets, and your basketball season tickets right now award you a priority point per ticket you purchase, and then 1 point for every consecutive year you give. The point that came up earlier, it's not an extra point every extra year. It's 1 point if you gave in 2012 and have given every year since. Between this year and last year, you'll still only get 1 point. It doesn't add up where you have 8 points coming to you. So that's the biggest kind of clarification that we can do right now. And then a little shout out to the Alumni Association. If you become Alumni Association lifetime member, you get 25 points, which is worth a $2,500 donation. So that's a pretty good deal if you're an alumni. Basically, the way we're going to do this as far as tickets are concerned is number one on our priority point list. We're going to call them up on July 8th. We're going to give them a scheduled time to call. We're going to call them up, ask them where they want to sit, where they want to park, go to number 2, and on down the line until we run out of people to call. It's going to be pretty quick, easy, painless, and you have until June 1st of this year to kind of work your way up the priority point list if you're interested in that.
There's an important thing to add, and I think Joel covered it, but we're going to go through each slide, but you guys will have plenty of time to ask questions at the end, so feel free to write that down or retain it. We'll cover every question at the end that you have. First right of refusal. This question comes up quite a bit. Will it just be Jaguar football games in a stadium? The answer is no. There will be other events. There'll be cultural events. There'll be concerts and potential other sporting events. The bottom line is by becoming a season ticket holder, you will have first right for any ticketed event. So, for example, if it applies to your seats, you can purchase your seat for that particular event. If it doesn't apply to your seat, meaning a concert, and we don't have folks in seats, for example, you'll still have first right to purchase tickets to that event by being a season ticket holder. Hope that makes sense. Okay, we're going to go to important dates here. Well, there we go. There we go. Sorry about that. Thank you, Mary Beth. Okay, so one thing that we want to make sure is clear, here are the critical dates, and every one of you should have received a letter, like we said, and in that letter were these important dates. And let me just run through them quickly. March 1st is the date that we're going to get all of our 2019 season ticket information out for renewals. So you will receive that package in the mail March 1st or shortly after. But what's important is along with that renewal is going to be your request for 2020. So you're going to be able to submit your request that you would like to have in the new stadium. And what that means is we'll have a portal online with a link that you can go to the portal, and in that portal you can put in your request based on your account of what your first choice would be. So in other words, I would like to have 4 club seats in the new stadium. That would be my first choice. Second choice would be if I don't get those club seats because of by the time we get to you on the appointment time, then I would like 4 chairback seats in this section. It's going to be pretty simple once you see it, and at the end, we're going to be able to show you exactly what we're talking about. You could also do it by sending an email. As long as it's documented and we have it, what we won't do is we won't take your request verbally. We want to make sure that we have it in writing so that way there's no mistake, and we don't want to mislead anybody. That process will go from March 1st for 90 days. So we're going to accept renewals for 90 days. There's no difference between March 1st and May 31st. It doesn't mean anything in your desire. All it means is it's a 90-day window to send in your 2019 renewal. At the end of May 31st, obviously you see June 1st. That's when renewal process is over, and we lock in priority points. That's the important date. So June 1st, wherever you stand on that priority point ranking, that's the day that it's locked in. If somebody says, I'm sorry, I was out of the country, and they contact us on June 7th, it won't matter. It's too late. That's why we want to make sure we get the word out that June 1st is it. June 1st to June 30th, we're going to sit down, a bunch of us, and we're going to compile all of that information on that wish list for 2020. And we'll have a pretty darn good idea of where everybody stands and what they want before we make that phone call or have that face-to-face meeting. So July 8th, we'll start our appointment times. So you have your own personal signing day. How cool is that, right? So we'll contact you and let you know that your day is July 11th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Obviously, if it doesn't work for you, we'll adjust. But the point is, you need to make that appointment time on that particular day because that's where we're going to secure and lock in your request for 2020. That process will take, I'm assuming, probably 30 to 45 days, maybe longer. But once we get to the process is complete, then we'll open it up for other folks who weren't on that ranking list who now have a chance to purchase seats. But October 1st really is the date that we will start accepting payment plans or payments. So if you want to pay us everything up front on October 1st for 2020, we'll certainly accommodate you. If you want a payment plan and you want to spread it out over the entire calendar year, we'll do that as well. And that's going to be our job to make sure we explain your different options for the 2020 season. Again, that has nothing to do with 2019. That will already be taken care of through your renewal process.
All right, now we get into some of the fun stuff here. Pricing. So right now, suites, we have 9 suites to sell. They're going to be $25,000 a piece every year for a 3-year commitment. So if you're looking for a suite, feel free to come see me afterwards. We'll get you figured out. But it's going to be, most of our premium seating in the stadium is going to be a 3-year commitment to make sure that not only y'all are locked in for the 3-year period, but that gives you the opportunity to make sure that we're not going to raise prices over the 3-year period or anything like that. So this is kind of a win-win for both sides. The suites, in addition to the 3-year commitment, they're going to have seating for 18. So as you saw in the video, there's going to be 15 outdoor seats, which obviously we don't have right now at LAD. There's going to be 3 indoor seats. There's going to be 18 tickets per seat. You're going to get 9 parking passes with that in the premium lots, either north or south of the stadium, depending on where you pick out. It's completely up to you. You'll actually get a reserved space with your name on it, so that's pretty exciting for everybody. You'll have a high-definition TV, a refrigerator, and serving areas you can see in the video there. There'll be a serving area for food and all that. And then in addition to the $25,000, the food and beverage is going to have to be ordered through Airmark on your behalf. It's not something that's covered in the actual cost of the suite. There's also your contribution to the Jaguar Athletic Fund South Circle is included in the price of the suite. As with all of our tickets, and we'll talk about this as we go through, your donations are now will be included in your actual cost of your seat rather than having to make an additional contribution on top of your seat costs.
This is a really cool video here zooming in on the areas that we're talking about. So you might have guessed that's the stadium club that will be located in Hancock Whitney Stadium. The suites are on the second floor of the west building. So the top floor is your press box. The suites are the second floor. And your first floor is going to be your club. And the folks that have access to the club are going to be anybody that purchases loge seating or club seating will have access to the club. Now you can see the benefits on there. This will only be accessible by those folks in loge or club. It will be open 2 hours prior to kickoff, and here's the beautiful part. It remains open throughout the entire game, which we haven't had the luxury of in the past because you haven't been able to see the game from where you were. a couple features, obviously it's going to be climate controlled. It'll be private restrooms, HD TVs throughout. We will have cash bars. But the best part is with your ticket, and you'll see the pricing here in a second, you'll have food and beverage attached to your ticket. So the bottom line is you'll be able to enjoy the food. If you give your tickets to somebody else, it's completely transferable, which means they have the same benefits that you do when using your tickets.
All right, by far the most common question I've been getting is, what is a loge? A loge is a set of 4 seats together, which you can see up in the upper right there, with a tabletop in front that you can place your food, you can put whatever down there, and they're actually going to have USB ports to plug in, and you can charge your phone, you can charge your electronics, all that kind of stuff throughout the game. So it's a little bit of kind of the best of both worlds. It's a private area that's outdoor in the club area, and you can still socialize with everybody without having to be kind of compressed in a small box of a suite. So these by far, throughout me talking to people so far, have been the most interested options. People are very interested in them, and it's kind of something that we're able to uniquely provide to our fans. So with the $5,000 commitment for a loge, again, it's going to be a 3-year minimum commitment. Your food and non-alcoholic beverages are going to be included in that price. It'll open again, like Travis said, 2 hours before kickoff, and then go all the way throughout the game. So you don't have to worry about getting there at a certain time and making sure you get something to eat. It's throughout the entire game, and you can take the food out of the club area and sit it on your tabletop. It's a nice place to eat. So there's going to be a cash bar in there, and again, there's your donation to the Jaguar Athletic Fund is incorporated in that price. And almost forgot, you'll get additional 2 parking passes in any lot you choose.
So the difference between the loge and the club, obviously, is your loge is a cluster of 4 seats with all of the benefits attached to that. Your club is based on a per-seat basis. So the club level, there's about 600 seats, 600, slightly over 600, and it's $1,000 per seat. However, that's inclusive. What that means is that includes your ticket price, that includes your donation, that includes your food and beverage. So once again, if you have 4 seats to the club or 2 seats to club, it also comes with the food and beverage that'll be set up inside. The only thing it won't include is the alcohol cash bar. And also, the club does not include parking. However, you have access to purchase the parking. The reason we did that is, you'd be surprised, some people aren't interested in parking. Kind of find that hard to believe, but that's the case. So you'll be able to, through your appointment time, understand the parking situation and then decide where you would like to park and purchase a parking pass for the season.
All right, so this again is going to be a little interesting to explain. So we have a covered area below the club and loge seating and above the chairback seats on the concourse that's going to be accessible by our chairback ticket holders. They are the only ones who will gain access to this outside of the club and loge. If the club and loge want to go down and access this kind of premium concession area, they'll have that ability. But this is a nice area. We actually stole this idea from Florida Atlantic. It's a covered area where you can get out of the direct sunlight, you can get out of inclement weather, and it'll be premium concessions that will be available to you and not available throughout the rest of the stadium. So it's kind of a little perk for our chairback season ticket holders and then our club and loge people who are interested in going down into this area and kind of mingling, meeting their friends, things like that. This will span from the north 20 to the south 20, and it will basically just be behind the chairback seats all along the west side of the stadium. So this will butt up against the press box and come out to the concourse. So it's going to be a very large area that will be accessible to those with chairbacks. There'll be TVs in there, specialty concessions, and additional kind of bar tables and things like that where you can kind of stand, socialize, all that kind of stuff. So this is an exciting opportunity that we're able to offer.
Yes, close by. That's a good question. but no questions till the end. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so chair back. You're talking about now sections 106, 107, 108, and 109. You can clearly see that in your brochure. These are $410 a year, and those are the reason it's a little slightly higher than below that is closer to the 50-yard line. So if you're fortunate enough to get between the 35-yard line and the 35-yard line, you'll be in chair back. If you're in the $410 range, you'll be closer to the 45, 50-yard line. A good comparison of this, if you happen to be a $300 donor last year and you paid $120 for your season tickets, you paid $420. The price on that's $410. So just want to make sure I point that out. Obviously, your 106 and 109 are slightly out, closer to the 35-yard line, and that's why that price drops down to $310 per year. You notice also, too, that you have access to the West Lounge that Jacob was just talking about, and you also have the donation built right into the ticket price.
And before we go down the line too much here, the rule of thumb for the donation is the ticket is going to cost you $160, and then the donation for these seats is going to be the remainder. So you can kind of do the math on that, but there's a little more complicated math when you get into the premium seating and stuff like that. But as far as these seats are concerned, that's your math. So the bench back seating, obviously you can see up in the green. There's some on the west side, outside of the 20s, both upper and lower, and then the east side up above the students section on the east. The students are still going to be down below on the east, right behind the visitors bench. Will also be the same cost, and they'll be closer, pretty much on the 50. So that'll give you a little opportunity to get on the 50 if you're looking at a lower price point. Again, $260 per year, includes your donation, includes your seat, season ticket, and then you have the ability to purchase parking on top of that.
Bench back, you can once again see the gray highlighted sections on the map inside your brochure. It's a little easier probably to see in your brochure than on the big screen. But the darker gray are what we consider bench back. And obviously you're asking what bench back is. It's a bench with a back. So it's sections up there, 104, you can see all the way around, but $210 per year, very affordable for folks that would like to sit in that section. And as Jacob said, your ticket price is $160. The remaining $50 basically goes to your South Circle donation.
So the bleachers do not have a back. These are the only ones in the stadium that will not have a back associated. And you can see up there in the purple and yellow, these do not have a donation either associated with them. There's just a straight fee, straight cost. You will not be a donor to the Jaguar Athletic Fund at all. But these kind of give you every price point we could imagine, from $5,000 to $100. $100 will get you a season ticket in the new stadium if you're inclined. So we kind of knocked it down from high to low.
Well, I get really excited about this one. So our south end zone, we refer to as the South Terrace. And the South Terrace is several rows, if you could imagine, tiers of standing room only with drink rails. We really stole this idea from several places, but Colorado State is one of the stadiums that we really picked their brain on. What do they do with this area? And it turns out it's fantastic. It's kind of the place to be. If you've ever been to the old Turner Field, I can't believe I'm saying old Turner Field already, but they had the Chop House, and I told friends all the time, a lot of times I went and hung out with friends in the Chop House and never even went to my seat. I looked up in the sixth inning, I'm like, whoa, I never even made it to my seat yet. That's what I envision this is going to be, just a real casual social area. Everybody has general admission. Anybody with a ticket can walk through here. They can enjoy the local flavor of the food. We'll have vendors over there. We'll have cash bars over there as well. And what's really cool is this south end zone transforms into a flat stage platform. So if you can imagine a 100-foot by 60-foot platform that now becomes a stage. And everything, thanks to Dr. Erdman, everything was already prearranged to where you're going to be able to have a promoter come in and plug and play, raise your light towers, and you got yourself a concert. So I love the video where it shows everybody on the field and all of our students to come out for a concert, and that's what that south end zone is going to be able to become.
The south end zone as well is going to be first come, first serve. So it's kind of just an open area for anybody that has a ticket to get into the stadium. Y'all can hang out there, socialize, all that kind of stuff.
And let me add one more thing, too, just for anybody that's involved with the corporate. I actually had a meeting today, and we talked about a corporate hospitality party, and they said, can we do that inside the game? And the answer is absolutely now, because we can take that lower end zone part and turn that into a corporate hospitality event with catering and everything right there overlooking the field.
All right, I drew the short straw on this one. I got parking today. So basically our parking map includes kind of 4 levels, I would say. We have a red level, which gets you within a quarter mile of the stadium, very easily walkable, able to make it to the stadium very easily. The blue is kind of a little bit further out. It's about 3/4 of a mile away from the stadium. We'll actually have shuttles at the bell tower and on the traffic circle that will drop you right at the north end of the stadium. And then the gold lot is more for game day parking. Those people who are coming to a game for 1 or 2 games a year, the opposing fans, things like that. It's more kind of meant to kind of hopefully get them in the gates. And then there's actually going to be a lot north on the north side of campus that will be a free lot for those who come out, and we'll charge a shuttle fee if you want to kind of ride the shuttle to the stadium. So hopefully we have a little bit for everybody there. The $150 and the $100 for the red and blue lots are going to be season parking passes, and then the $20 for the gold lot is a per game price. There's a lot of different ways we thought about doing this. I know people are concerned with ingress and egress into the stadium and off campus and all that. We are going to use 9 different entry points around campus, and your parking pass will tell you, all right, you're in red lot A, you're going to enter at this entry point. We'll have a map we'll have a map and a diagram where you're going to enter, and you'll enter there, you'll leave there, and hopefully that gets people in and out quickly, easily, without too many headaches. The other thing on that is just the RV parking. So the RV parking is going to be at the intramural lots. We'll have 26 RV spots. And then just south of the stadium here, you can probably see it a little better in your books, is going to be 24 RV spots. So we'll have 50 RV spots total. We will not have power or sewer, but that's something that we're looking into down the line. It's just kind of cost prohibitive. So y'all hopefully, when you came in, got a list of our naming opportunities left. Right before I came over here, I sold one. If you didn't, they're on the table outside of here. They're going fast. If you have interest, please reach out. Let me know. We just want to make this as easy for y'all to kind of make a contribution as possible. All these are 100% tax deductible. They go towards your priority points, 1 point for every $100 donated. And we have everything from $1,500 to $2.5 million, I guess, left. So I know that's not in everybody's wheelhouse, but that kind of, you can be a part of what we're doing here. You can get your name on what we're doing here. In addition to those naming opportunities, we'll have plaques on the south ticket office for $1,000 donations, $2,500, $5,000, and $10,000 and above donations. So those plaques will stand as long as the stadium stands. So that's something that, if interested, you can get your name on as well.
What you're looking at is last 2 slides are corporate sponsorships. So if you own a company, work for a company, know somebody who owns a company, then have them call me. Our staff with Jaguar Sports Properties will do a great job of taking care of them. Anywhere from a few $100s up to $2.5 million. I don't know. I don't know if we can stretch it that high, but we could try. What I'm really excited about is the new stadium offers new opportunities, and what that means is we have now LED ribbon boards that will run across the east and west facade of the stadium. So from the 20-yard line to the 20-yard line, we'll have ribbon boards that we can promote and promote our sponsors in a much better way. We also have a 100-foot by 38-foot video board, state-of-the-art, and as of right now today, it would put us the largest video board in the Sun Belt for sure, and would actually put us in the top 25 in the country in the size of that video board. That will be located in that south end zone above the south terrace. Again, we have pricing for football only, and we also have pricing for multi-sport. If you want to hit that next slide, somebody could work with us where they're getting branding and advertising in football, basketball, baseball, softball, year-round advertising, and the cost is really affordable. So we certainly want to talk to you if you have interest in that.
Okay, Mary Beth's going to show you now how to access the website, and actually we have a ticket portal on there where it'll allow you to determine and send us actually your ticket preference, so where you want to sit, park, all that kind of stuff. So basically you're going to go to usajaguars.com, click on Hancock Whitney Stadium right there in the middle, and then there's all kinds of information on here. Pretty much anything we talked about today, a little bit more is on here. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us, but also there's a lot of information on this website. At the top there, right in the middle, is going to be your preference portal. So you just click on that. You kind of look at everything we presented today down here from tickets to parking, and then you can go in here, fill out your preference. Please fill it out in total. Fill out your name, email, phone number, so we know who we're talking or who's submitting, how to contact you. And then it's pretty easy. You're just gonna go down. You're gonna click on the different levels that you're interested in, and tell us how many you might want to purchase on that level. So if you want a suite, you'd click that. If you're interested in a chair back, you click that and just let us know. That's a lot of chair backs. And then the same thing for parking. You're going to go down and click if you want to be in the red lot. If you want 2 parking passes in the red lot, you can just go through that and you click submit. It's pretty easy. Hopefully it's user friendly. And for those who aren't as computer literate, we're going to send out actually hard copies of everything, and you can actually mail it back. And so we're going to try to make it as easy for you to contact us as possible. I guess that's pretty much it for our presentation. I know I've heard. Oh, Joel's got.
I just honestly thought of something. The video board. It is pretty darn close to the drape, top to bottom. 100-foot basketball court is about 50 feet wide. You got about an extra 25 to 30 feet on each end, and you're about 30 feet high. And actually, the video board is 38 feet high. So the video board is 38 feet high by 100 feet. It's pretty expensive, too. One thing I did want to add, as we approach 2020, I can't promise this, but our desire will be to have at least one Saturday, maybe 2, in which we set up campus and say, come on, pretend it's game day, figure out how to get to your parking spot, go find your parking spot, there's your gate, go in the gate, go find your seat, hang out for a little while, we'll have this big old TV on for you, and get to know. Let me say this, because there are concerns about parking, and some of you have heard this. Inside the perimeter fence at LAD, there are approximately 1,800 spaces, give take. We currently use those in this fashion. The students get 300 that they have to pick up the week of a game. We use about 150 to 200 for media, operations, things of that nature. We sell in the neighborhood of 1,200 to 1,300, and we've been sold out for several years now, okay? So within the red area, if you look at your booklet, within the red area, there are approximately 15 to 1,700 parking spaces. So we don't have to give parking to the students, right? So anybody that's used to parking inside the fence at LAD, if you desire to be in a red lot, you'll be there. And we'll have an additional 300 to 400 or so that will have access. So the people that are used to parking inside, piece of cake. The perimeter folks, we have approximately, depending how you want to look at it, we have an additional 4,000 to 6,000 parking spaces throughout campus in that blue and that gold and the gray or the white up top. So for those games, which hopefully there's a lot of them, in which we are sold out, we're going to be able to accommodate some folks. We're going to be running hard, we're going to be running fast, but we'll have electronic traffic signs. We'll have 8 to 10 of them that'll be spaced out appropriately. Say entry number 1, entry number 2, entry number 3, follow them in, and then we contraflow out. So right now, we're kind of used, some folks are kind of used to getting pushed out a certain way out of LAD. Okay, we're actually going to be able to distribute people to the south and to the east on 7 different arteries and push them to streets that are not residential in nature. And we'll push traffic to 4-lane roads with turning lanes and get them out. Now, we might force you a certain direction, but it's going to be at a higher rate of speed and to more of a thoroughfare type of road. So I just wanted to add those 2 points real quick.
All right. I know everybody has questions. That's what this is for at the end of the day. We have 2 microphone stands down here. If you're unable to make it to the microphone stand, raise your hand. We got somebody walking around with a microphone in the back. Love to hear from you. We'll try to answer them as best we can. Like Joel said, we don't have everything set in stone at the moment, so there are some things that are a little bit up in the air, but we're working for those, so we'll answer everything we possibly can.
Wow,
Don't
we
be
must have
shy.
did a pretty good job, huh? Yeah, I see that. Thank you.
They got it up in the back.
You will have a specific parking space dedicated to you. Yeah, they'll be numbered, so you'll be in red lot A, space number 6, for example. To bump you out of your current season tickets? No. No, you have first right of refusal even while you're sitting in them, so I see what you're saying. Absolutely not.
I just wanted to, it looks you did a great job on the chart, but I just want some clarification. I don't know if you need to put that picture back up of the stadium. That's not the one, the nicer picture that had the seats. But in any case, below what is the lows, there appears to be 7 skinnier section of chair backs, and I didn't see that was addressed. I didn't know what that was.
So are you the area, the blue chair backs?
I believe it's 7 sections of 12 seats below the lows. What are those?
Those are the $1,000 club seats.
Okay, so that's the seat you get with the club.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Are those, do you have an assigned seat there?
Yes.
Okay.
There will be assigned seats throughout the entire facility. There, I don't think we're having a GAC in the place.
Okay. I had a lot of questions written down, but I didn't bring my paper. But I guess the other thing, I guess you're working, like y'all have done a lot more thinking than I have on this, but I was just thinking about in the parking, has there any thought been given so that you don't have like a little turf warfare as to how long your vehicle can be, what size your tent can be, that type of thing? I know, for instance, at Florida State, they paint a line, and you've got to put
Yeah.
your wheels on that line, and your tent can be 8 by 8. That's it.
Yeah. Where we're going to try to go. And when this all rolls out, we'll have some parking guidelines. Our preference is the parking lot is for parking, for the most part, okay? If you have a 10 by 10 tent, I think we're going to have an abundance of green space. That's a great thing about this campus, is within arm's length and reasonable distance from parking spaces is green grass and trees. There are some campuses that just allow people to put tents behind their cars, and the parking lot turns into a disaster, and it's dangerous, and so we will have to work through that, but the intent is to provide enough green space in the proximity of parking for people who do want to set up tents.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Will we be able to set up our tents the night before for tailgating? No, okay, that's all, that's fine. On page 8 of the book, in the bench back section of 105, 205, it says there's access to the West Lounge.
That has since
Is that a
changed.
typo?
It
Or
has
it's-
since changed
it has
since
since
the printing of
changed.
the book. Yep.
Okay, was there anything else, Greg?
The access to the West Lounge for the bench backs directly adjacent to the chair back sections. The few green on the west side. Page 8.
Thank you. This has been a great presentation, and but I'd like to know if I have purchased, let's say in the Loge or Suite or whatever, is that transferable upon my death to my children?
Yes, we will work with that. Yep.
All right, this is where this world gets fun. What if we get divorced? Our intent is, if it is within a legitimate household family or circle of family, to honor that moving forward. So the next marks is, if you desire, but not to the next door neighbor who's a good friend. That type of thing.
I
Yeah.
mean, like my son
Yeah.
who is
Yeah,
alumni.
that is our intent, but we've got to iron through that a little bit.
And one other question. In the Loge, you point out 2 parking spaces. That will be in the red area?
Yes. Well, technically, it comes with parking inclusively, but you could choose.
Okay, thank
We
you.
would assume you'd want the red, but like I said
Yes.
before, some people would desire something
Right,
else. Yeah.
right.
And part of the reason we're allowing you to choose, okay, is Karen Edwards in here? Some people may want a blue lot near the new alumni center. Some people may want to be near the bell tower. Some people may want to be, see that blue strip next to Stanky? How cool, I mean, you got easy in and out, you got to walk a little bit, but it ain't that bad. You're going to have restrooms, you got a big old oak tree with a wooden picnic area underneath it. So, I mean, it's, the proximity of the red is tremendous, but the campus is so beautiful, and each lot kind of has its own unique offerings. We're just going to say, where do you want to park?
In calculating the priority points, I have some points and my wife has some points because we've given gifts in both our names. Are they going to be combined for a household total, or are they completely separate?
Richard, are you a CPA?
Absolutely.
I kind of figured that, yeah. I'll let Jacob handle that one.
It's kind of a case-by-case basis. Likely they are already combined, and the points have been kind of added together, and whether it's an lifetime alumni membership or something that's kind of changed them a little bit. Your best bet, and I'm going to throw Greg Keel into the bus here, talk to Greg Keel.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
It's my understanding that the red area, the closest red area is a quarter mile from the stadium. Is that also going to be handicap parking?
The closest parking space you see the stadium? North is at the top, south is at the bottom. The closest parking space from the front gate will be approximately from me to you.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Each parking lot, red or blue, will have a state of Alabama parking guidelines according to ADA accessible. So within those lots, by showing a handicap sticker, you have the right to buy them. Okay? And we will also, this hasn't been finalized. Everything's a little fluid. But we anticipate that we will designate a lot in proximity of the stadium that will be single game day handicap. Okay? Now, this is not final. Mary Beth, you want to point to the lot we might? Okay, go down some, Mary Beth. There. That is a lot that we might get access to. It has 60 spaces, and we might, if we're allowed, designate that lot for people who have a handicap placard. $20 come in, we'll shuttle you in.
Okay. Now, will you be, on parking passes, will you be issuing handicap parking passes?
They'll have a number.
Okay.
You took for purchase. So I mean, if there are, I believe there are 7 in the south parking lot. I believe per code there are 7. I believe 6 or 7.
Okay.
And they'll have space number 1, space number 2, space number 3, space number 4.
Okay. So
If a person buys it, you get space number 1.
a couple years ago, they asked me to submit a bunch of handicap paperwork, which I did. Never got handicap parking. So, but now we will have handicap parking passes also.
Handicap will have options of season or single game.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi. I had read somewhere or heard a rumor that all of the suites had already been sold out for the year and that half of the loge seats have been sold out. So I was just hoping that you could dispel that rumor.
I think I can take that one. Nothing will happen until June 1st, like we discussed. However, people have been very vocal about what they want. So we have received their information, but we can't do anything with that information until priority point ranking is locked in on May 31st. So beginning June 1st, that's the day that nothing will change, and then we can prioritize based on that request through the portal.
Hey,
Great question.
Travis, Jacob. Right
Yes,
here.
sir.
Is the caterer going to be any good? And can you bring it, if you get a suite, can you bring in an outside caterer? Do you have to use the stadium caterer?
Unless they bring their own. Unless they tailgate on their own. Yeah, I'm not sure I heard the question, but I think you mentioned catering.
But if you get a suite, can you bring in an outside caterer, or do you have to use the stadium caterer?
No, I'm sorry.
You're
In a
gonna have
suite,
stadium caterer?
absolutely. In a suite, you'll have to order through Aramark, the on-site caterer, and you can do that in advance, similar to the way you do it here for the Mitchell Center, and work directly with a caterer for the suite.
So if 5 people put up $5,000 and get a suite, 3 people get 3 tickets, 2 people get 4 tickets, and we'll have 18 tickets. Can we sell 4 and get $600 and then use that to cater the food with?
That's pretty good, Matt. Richard, where are you? I need Richard to come back down here.
Would there be objection to that? They're selling four parking tickets, weigh $150 a piece. That'd give us $600 a game, $600 to pay for the food.
I think what he's also asking, Travis, is can a group of people go in and buy a suite for $25,000 or for $5,000?
Well, the $25,000 would be to that person who has the priority point ranking in order to secure the suite. So the financials and everything else would be through that individual and or corporation that has the priority point ranking. What they do after that is really up to them.
Well, that would be all right, though.
And as long as we get $25,000,
You don't care all right.
and you want to disperse your tickets somehow, that's fine. However, only one person who's on the account that purchases the suite gets the priority points associated with the contribution to South Circle with the suite. So you can't divvy that up. Does that make sense? There's one account per suite.
I'm teaming up with Mr. Willie over here.
Yeah, that was a great question.
All right, 3 questions. One involves alcohol, another one involves handicap, and the other one RVs. So for alcohol, you said cash bar. Is that beer? Is it beer plus wine? Is it beer plus booze? And is there a fourth quarter cutoff?
In the suites and the club, which will include the loge, it's for sure beer. We're working on liquor, but I don't have an outcome on that yet.
Okay. RV. In the past, with the RV pass comes 1 car pass for parking. Will that continue?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
In the past, when you have an RV parking pass,
Right.
you have one RV parking pass and 1 automobile parking pass. Will that continue?
The space, your current space is how big, Greg? Your current space is 60 by 22. The anticipated spaces are 50 by 30. If there's a desire for a car to be somewhere in that space, I think we'll allow that, but I don't want to say for sure until I talk to some other folks about it.
Okay, you answered the question by saying a car may or may not be allowed to park in that space.
As long as you're within that space, I think we're okay. But that's one of the details that I'm not ready to say for sure yet.
My question is this. Currently, when you get an RV parking, when you pay for RV parking, you get 2 tickets, one for the RV and
Right.
one for a car.
Correct.
Will that continue in
The
2020?
intent is yes, but I can't tell you for sure yes. The space is 50 feet
I
by
understand that.
30 feet wide.
I understand.
If, will what you want to put in there fit in there?
Oh, certainly.
Then
How-
I think so.
However, if it doesn't, do you still get the car parking pass with the RV pass and then choose a red zone or a blue zone for that car?
That's something we'll have to work through.
Okay, thank you. The last thing was for handicap access. I know there's handicap parking. I know there will be ramps into the stadium. Will the ramps go all the way to the entrance point for seating, or will there be stairs involved as well, like there are at LAD?
Mary Beth, will you go back to picture an overview, like a high shot of the stadium? The top left. Okay. If you'll notice, you're looking from the south to the north. The main ticket gate is right behind the video board. You'll notice that there will be handicap access with ramps from all parking lots will be ADA approved per state of Alabama code. All right? You'll enter from the south on grade. So you will go through the gates and you'll be able to literally walk around 360 degrees all the way around the concourse on the outside without having any stairs or inclines. You'll be at one grade all the way around. Handicap seating will be sideline and end zone with handicap spaces for wheelchairs and partner chairs. And they will be at the 50-yard line on the east and the west. throughout the entire west on the concourse. Mary Beth, see if you can pull one up that you can see it better. No, that doesn't have the detail. See what else you got, Mary Beth. Click on the west line, the press box, the top other one. There. That doesn't. Well, you kind of see the detail. There are handicap spaces all the way around the mezzanine, so a person will be able to get from the south lot or drop-off area to the concourse to their seat without any significant inclines. Where there are going to be inclines are from the north lot, because the north lot, honestly, is going to be about 8. That's the retaining walls you see being built out there now. The north lot's going to be about 18 feet below concourse. So the north concourse is actually on raised steel.
Hey, Trap.
Right here in the middle.
In the loge and club levels in the question section, it says there's a max of 8 seats. Does that apply to all the other sections as well?
Great question. That would apply to the loge and the club seating. And we're not capping the chair, right? Travis got a question. Loge and club is capped at 8 total seats. No limitation on any other seating. Sorry, I had a hard time hearing you. I got you now, so.
I'm coming, Mr. Betts.
Will there be handrails up and down most all the seating?
Yes. Yes. Hey, Joel, let me just clarify. That's a good question. Handrails up and down every stairwell portal throughout the stadium? Correct. Yes, Hancock Whitney will.
Yeah, I presently am a member of the Coach Club, and with that, I get access in basketball season to the John Counts room, as well as a hang tag for the parking lot. How is all this going to impact that?
You want to take that one?
We're actually, that's a very good question. We're working on the changes to our different donor levels currently. Basically what I want to move to is more of a kind of donor-friendly model where all of your donations are pooled into one benefits chart, and that provides you your benefits. So the actual access to John Counts and your parking and everything like that will stay the same. Your donation to the stadium through your seats will attribute to that donor level, and that will get you to your whatever level you're looking to be at.
Are you changing the levels now with team and coach, et cetera?
I didn't hear that.
Are you going to change the contribution levels that are presently team and coach, et cetera?
We don't plan to at this time.
So for the 2019, it's all going to be the same, but 2020.
Yes,
Yeah,
2019.
I understand for 2019. I'm looking at the 2020 because that's what you guys are talking about.
Yes, sir. We don't plan to change it this time.
Coming around.
I got a question. How many chair back seats you going to have?
In the lower section, about 700 total.
700. On the bench seats, how wide will they be?
Sorry, 1,400 total. Sorry. For the chair backs, 1,400. Sorry.
Okay. The bench seats, how wide will they be? Comparable to the way they are at Ladd? The bench back.
They'll be about 19 to 20 inches
Similar to
side to side.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
If you have loge or club, where will you come in, and do you have to walk up a flight of steps to get there?
go back to the okay. See the press tower to the west, which is to the left. People that have suites or the club or the loge, there is an elevator shaft at the back of the press tower that you'll enter. And we will have 3 elevators, 2 for customers, 1 for catering. So we have one that is just purely, you're not going to be riding an elevator with food and catering and all that fun stuff. So yeah, you don't have, unless you want to, you can access the club by the stairs, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
Test. I'll get this. All right. Here's something new for you, Travis. We have a Facebook Live question, so straight from social media. Mr. Wesley Hughes wants to know, does a tailgating tent spot come with the parking pass? Also, will the configuration be such that it will be auto tent auto, similar to the way we set up at LAD now?
That's the first Facebook Live question I think I've ever gotten. So I think I answered that question in reverse. With the parking pass that you'll purchase as a season parking pass, that will be a space on concrete. There will not be tents on the concrete. However, you get to choose your parking spot. So if there's an area, a grass area nearby right behind your car, you can certainly tailgate all you want in the grass area. But once again, we're just to reiterate, we're not going to allow tents on the concrete because that's just going to be chaos with other people trying to park. No rebuttal from Facebook? I just want to make sure that, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, go ahead.
I have 2 quick questions. How wide are the chairback seats?
21 inches for everybody to hear that.
Okay, and the second question, if you donated to the stadium and there was a match to the stadium, I don't think the match counts for points, is that right?
Yes, it does. Yep, it'll account for one point for every $100 match as well.
Coming down.
Who said that?
It's getting hot.
Can you combine them? Yeah, if you decide you want to give $5,000 and you give $2,500 and your company matches $2,500, that'll get you a $5,000 naming opportunity.
Is the whole campus going to be opened up for tailgating? Anywhere I want to put a tent on campus?
We got to define tailgating. All right. The campus, no policy has been approved yet. Okay? But the intent is for campus to be very similar to other campuses throughout the Southeast. Okay? And what might be in store is designated areas are approved for the consumption of certain items in secondary containers, as long as you are not breaking the law of the state of Alabama. You are of age and acting appropriately, I think things are going to be fine. I can feel very comfortable saying that there will be certain buildings will not have any changes. Dorms, academic buildings, recreation center. No. But that area over there, those areas over there, the campus is going to be a fun campus. I can tell you that. Now it's got to go through a process, okay?
Hi, we've had season tickets with a group of friends since the very beginning, and we sit 2 and then 4 behind us and 4 behind us. And we're looking at, in the green section, 210. Would we be able to meet together to purchase tickets like that, or will we end up being separated due to the points accumulated?
So the way we're going to do it is if y'all have different levels of points, we will go off the lowest number if y'all want to sit together. So if y'all want to buy tickets at the same time, we're going to go off of the lowest person, and we'll wait, and y'all can buy together. The other option is you can purchase for the group and allow them to pay you back or anything. However you distribute them is fine, but those are the kind of the two ways to do that.
I've got another Facebook Live question. Can we purchase an RV spot and not actually bring an RV, but set up multiple tents? So then we can keep the RV spot for when power and water is available.
So, can they purchase an RV lot and not put an RV in it, but put a tent?
Correct. Make it their own
it's
tailgate
your spot.
area.
Don't break the law. Yes, and I'll shoot you real straight. To put electricity, and this is true, to put electricity in the RV lots will cost approximately $750,000. I will put anybody's name on those RV lots that is willing to help us get power. A sewer is probably going to be twice that. So, there was a question that was asked of me down here. What about the new intramural fields? The intent is those new intramural fields are really nice, and they drain really well, and we got to protect the heck out of them. So, no party tents. Kids can go out there and play and throw the ball around. That's fine. But no big old tents. We're not going to tear that place up. That's a beautiful place for our students and our recreation folks. I will say this. It's not final, but my intent would be that the Jaguar, for children and adults, the Jaguar Training Center, I would anticipate opening it up. No food, no drink, no seeds, no gum. Bring a ball. Let kids go run around in there where the big boys practice before the game. We'll have lifeguards. Got to behave yourself. But that would be a place that we would love to have children playing and dreaming about to be a Jag someday. So if you've not seen the Jaguar Training Center, you make your way up there, have at it. Go have fun.
So, just going off of that, could we purchase 2 RV spots just for a little elbow room and not put anything there?
I would say we would have to give everybody a chance who wants to purchase an RV spot first. If there are RV spots left over that are not purchased by those that want them, and you want to come back and purchase an additional one, I think that seems reasonable. I think we would do that.
I just have a quick question. Are you going to let people tailgate at the traffic circle? Because there's plenty of trees and plenty of grass.
I don't know. I doubt it. Because it's a safety, but it's a safety hazard. I don't anticipate it, but maybe not. I might be wrong. I don't know. But I agree, it's a beautiful place.
Due to the parking at Ladd Stadium, we were limited on the number of parking passes. Does that still hold true, or will we be able to buy more?
What we'll do is, what is it? 1 for every 2, 1 for every 4? 1 for every 2 tickets purchased. If you want more than that, tell us you want more than that. Once we go through and everybody has a fair chance to purchase whatever we have left over, very similar to the RV, does anybody want to purchase some more? Or we'll reach out to you and say, you indicated to us you'd like to have more than 1 parking spot. We do have a couple available. Are you still interested?
All right, we've stated we're not going to be setting tents up on concrete or parking areas, right?
That is a strong preference.
So you have parking areas designated at intramurals, and that is an A-based parking lot, so we're not going to be able to set tents up on the grass area of the intramural?
No, if you drive, in my opinion, if you go take a look at the intramural field as long as, in my opinion, we're not invading the playing surface, you got a ton of grass that runs a quarter mile long, and it's probably 20 to 30 feet deep. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to beat the RV parking to death, but in today's environment, there are RV spots that are bought solely for the purpose of parking cars for people that want to party together. Will that continue?
Like the RV parking spots are sold just to park cars, not RVs.
I mean, the intent of an RV spot is to put an RV in it, right? Okay. But however, if someone states they want to wants to buy an RV spot and they put 4 cars in there, I'm not sure what I can really do about that. I can say, listen, you know, I can say no, but it'll probably be next year, or, you know, that's something. If that happens, I think we'll address it on a case-by-case basis.
In the parking spot next to mine, there are usually probably 8 to 12 cars parked.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
Any further questions? Up there, okay.
For the priority points, is it only season tickets for basketball and football, not for baseball or anything else that you buy season tickets for?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. Just basketball and football. Yes. Any donation made to the dugout club or bullpen club do count, but the tickets do not.
Those tickets are related to South Circle, which are contributions to the general athletic fund. South Circle. Question was, why are only football and basketball tickets counted towards priority points? It relates to South Circle. Okay, if you look at the Jaguar Athletic Fund, we basically have two types of giving. You've got, and it's pretty typical around the United States. If you go down to Tallahassee or Baton Rouge or other places, this is a pretty common structure. Football and men's basketball, not always, but tend to drive the most amount of money, correct? Those tickets have associated with them a donation. That donation goes to an account called the South Circle. South Circle goes to enhance all 17 sports under the discretion of the board of the JAF and myself as athletic director. If you buy a baseball ticket associated with that, if you want to have access to the dugout club or the stadium club, that money goes 100% directly to baseball. If you give a donation to softball, that money goes 100% directly to softball or golf or tennis. And so in these instances, that's why tickets associated with those two sports take priority points to drive attendance and priority at those two sports. Does that make a little sense?
If I bought season tickets to baseball and softball this year, and I just got them like a week and a half ago, when were the priority points cut off? Because I gave to the dugout club and to the bullpen club.
Your bullpen club and dugout club donation will count. June 1st is the cutoff date when we lock in priority points. They'll change to whenever you purchase them. They would have changed.
This has to do with the RV parking. Is there any thought that whenever the RVs are showing up, can we have a cutoff time that you must have your RV in place? Because we have a problem at LAD sometimes where we have someone that shows up like an hour before the game with this big RV, they want to back in, and it disrupts everyone else. Like if a game starts at 4 o'clock, you have your RV there by at least 12 o'clock.
I think that's a fair question. Do we currently have a regulation? I don't know. Greg, do we currently have a regulation on that? So we don't currently have a regulation. This is what I would say. If we decide to put in a regulation that an RV's got to be in place 2 hours before kickoff, then we are going to tell somebody that's coming in 1 hour and 55 minutes before kickoff that you can't come in here. That's something I got to think about. So I think a general request maybe would be out of consideration for those around you. We would ask that all efforts are made to have the RV in place 3 hours prior to kick, something like that. I'm not a big old fan of driving hard lines in the sand if somebody's stuck on the bayway for an hour, and, you know, now here we go.
Dr. Urban,
All right. We've got our next Facebook Live. If a USA employee has to work on game day, will they be able to park in their usual parking spot?
That is going before a committee. True, welcome to the university process. We have faculty that may want to come in and do research Saturdays. We have students that might want to use the recreation center on Saturdays. We have weekday games, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. I think we have a general idea on how we're going to handle that. The details are not there yet, but I think there's going to be a comfort zone, a compromise in there somewhere where somebody wants to come to work, they can come to work, but there's going to be, we got to figure out how to do that.
On the loge seating, it doesn't look like they're stationary. They're not fixed.
I'm sorry?
They're not stationary. They're not fixed.
No, they are. Those are metal frames that have vertical railings in front of them. I mean, they're sturdy.
They're fixed, though.
They're
you
fixed.
Can't pick one up.
Oh,
and
the
move
chairs
it
move around.
You can move them around.
The chairs can move.
Yeah, the chairs.
Yeah.
So, how much room is there, you think, between one section and another, front to back?
I don't know the exact dimension of.
You get 8, bring 4 chairs over and sit 8 in one little setting?
No, I would that would be against the spirit of what we're trying to do here.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
you know.
No, just the next one over.
No, I mean, the intent of the loge is there are 4 chairs that are allocated for each loge. If somebody from one loge across the way wants to pull a chair over and shove 5 into one, as long as they're not impeding anybody else's liberties and happiness in the loge, we'll deal with that.
Yeah.
But the intent, it shouldn't be habitual. There's 4 people in this loge area. There's 4 people in this loge area.
Understood. One other question. Where Stanky is? Are you going to open the stadium?
I would love to, but I would have to get real comfortable with, if I leave that open to offer access to restrooms, I don't get any funny business on the field. I don't get people out there in an unsupervised fashion tearing up our field.
If we wanted to use the deck, for example, as a tailgate?
I think that's to be determined for sure, but I think we would try to accommodate that the best we can.
Okay. Thank you.
I could ask you for you. Dr. Urban, they were asking earlier, Jag Junction now, I think you touched on this earlier because you talked about, Karen Edwards had mentioned this. The alumni tent, Jag Junction, will now be moved to, what is it called?
I'm not going to speak for Karen, but I know we're building a really nice alumni center. And I think the intent is going to be to use it on game day. I think.
I got a real simple one. The priority points that people have, is there going to be a place to go see if there's been any change in them before the opportunity to pick, or, If I got
If
my
you
wife's
want to know
permit-
what the status of your priority points are, we can give you that status anytime you want it. And that would go through Greg Keel, and he can update. We'll update the status almost every week, because what we have to do is, as donations come in, we are still raising money to pay for the debt service for this thing. Those priority points will shift, and so we will provide information on a real-time basis. There's a question about, will there be a Jag City the way there currently is a Jag City? There probably will not be a Jag City in the shape or form that we currently know of it. But I think tailgating or group tents, squares, parcels, there's some opportunities. If you go to the, Mary Beth, if you go to the parking map, okay, if you go to the football stadium and you got your pointer, Mary Beth? Point to the, okay, go to the football field house. See the red area to the left? That is, if you go back there, that is called Lovett Road. Lovett Road is made up of trees, pine and oak, and it used to have old Hillsdale housing on it. Those areas are being cleared of brush, undercut over the next 5-6 months, and we anticipate creating parcels. And within those parcels, you will have a certain space. Here's 4 parking passes. There's a spot if you want to put up a 20 by 20 tent. There's drive-up curbs. You're under the shade of an oak tree, and you're literally a stone's throw behind the football field house. I don't know. We'll have more information about that. But also around campus, okay, we are this is one of those things that's a little flexible right now. We've got to identify where all our green spaces are, where we can put tents up in a clustered fashion. But it's hard to really identify that until all our parking lots get built and drainage issues are taken care of. You know, a place we've not talked about is the faculty club. All right, if you're familiar with the faculty club, okay, what I think we're going to do with that is, all right, does a company or an organization or a group want to have access to the faculty club on game day? So you've got access to an air-conditioned building with food, with a bar, with restrooms, and plenty of green space, and 80 parking passes. And you're literally 400 yards from the stadium. So there's a lot of those intricacies that are still being formed. And I would say this, a point of emphasis for us is finding green space that we can point people to.
Hi, I just need to know, are we going to have something similar like we have had in the past, especially the VIP tent for us to accommodate for the enjoyment before the games? Or is that going to be like what is coming up for the Lowe's or the club?
The South Spot tent, we envision the club is going to kind of take that place. Obviously, it's not a tent. It's an enclosed area that's climate controlled and hopefully a lot nicer than a tent, but that's what's going to take that place.
Okay. Thank you.
Have we identified where the Jag Prowl's going to go from? What? Oh, no.
We have a lot of ideas.
No is the answer.
She asked where the Jag Prowl is going to be. So where's the football team going to jump off the buses and we all hug them and high-five them? Where the pointer is, that road will be closed. So there will be no traffic on that road on game day. So I'm anticipating something to the effect maybe where the team, we're building a road. If you look at the intramural complex, we're building a new road that will intersect at Old Shell and Foreman. Okay? And so that will help with egress and entry. But what I think would be kind of cool is for the team to enter there, drive through the RVs on the intramural field, go down in front of the stadium and maybe dump out somewhere in that corner where we've got a big cluster of people and walk down. But that's not finalized, but it seems reasonable.
Up here.
And all the talk about green space, the circle on the top there where the research park is, there is tons of green space there. And with the concrete parking or asphalt parking, whatever, there is so much space between those with lines of trees. Is that going to be accessible for tailgating since that's sort of a rental area over there through the,
I think the intent is on game days, as long as we're not impeding upon other aspects of the university, a green space is a green space. I think what's going to happen is over the course of a year or two, everybody and your groups are going to get used to doing this, and it's our spot. Ruben, you've had the same spot for 10 years. You know what I mean? And I think we're going to go through a process where people are going to kind of get used to it, and it might be a little further away from the stadium, but they found a nice little spot, and they kind of get there at 8 in the morning, and that's kind of their spot. And I think that's going to be part of the fun of this. So I do think we can accommodate most everybody's needs, but we have to do it in a safe fashion. Great questions. Are they still watching us on Facebook? Seriously?
Yeah, they're still watching. We've got, one last question, actually.
Oh, wait.
Can we go on campus Friday afternoon and rope off an area to reserve for tailgating?
At this time, no. But that's yet to be totally determined.
Will there be a charge for the shuttles?
Do what? I'm sorry? Yes, there will be a charge for the shuttles. Don't know how much for sure. Oh, there I am. Wow. Oh, no, the north, I'm sorry. The shuttles for the free parking will have a charge. The shuttles that will run from the bell tower, and that's anticipated now, for the intent for the blue and the gold won't be.
Did you say there was going to be vehicular traffic through the RV, the strip, all day?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. I think something that it's kind of hard to describe, but I think we're diverting traffic in ways where you're not going to have a big, thick quagmire. Now, people that wait till a half hour before the game, you're going to get a little clogged up. But people that come reasonably ahead of time, I think we're going to manage ingress and egress pretty well.
I'm going to give it to Hal Williams first. Dr. Williams, if you want to go first.
Everybody, Hal Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
Another RV question, Joel. With game day on campus now, Friday before Saturday and staying over to Sunday as we've been able to do at LAD, will that be impacted at all?
I would anticipate, yeah.
So yes, on Friday.
I think so.
Frame.
That would be my intent, unless something comes to our attention that I don't know about. I would love for people to come in Friday, stay Saturday, and pull out Sunday. just clean your space. Hal?
Dr. Erdman, right up here, Mr. Howard had a question about the gold spaces. He wants to know, will you be able to enter and exit anytime and be able to get back in once you exit without having to pay another fee, or will there be another fee?
I think what I would ask to keep things as simple as possible is once you're in, can you please stay in? However, if you've got to go in and out and in and out, I think we'll handle those on a case-by-case basis, and I wouldn't anticipate. I would think you'd have a receipt of some sort. Does that make sense? If you pay $20, you're going to get a receipt, and we get you in and out.
Okay, and his second question might be a tag team between you and Travis, but he also wants to know, are we still going to offer the shuttle system at JCPenney's, and can you park there, catch a ride over, and get into on campus?
I don't know for sure, but I'm not, if I had to guess one way or another, I think probably not. Good. But I haven't made a decision on that for sure. Yeah.
I think that's it. No further questions? Well, on behalf of Dr. Erdman and the rest of us, boy, we really appreciate you coming out, especially with the weather. And I hope it was productive for you. And as we started the conversation, please share the information. Our best salespeople are you. And share your passion, share the information. If they have any questions, there's certainly 5 of us on the back of your brochure that they can reach. Our emails, our cell phones are on here, our office numbers. Please have them call.